Welcome to Payback with Silas. Every day, a new story, lies, betrayal, payback. Let's begin.
They say family is everything. Blood is thicker than water, loyalty above all. You know the lines. And I believe them, every damn one of them. Right up until the day my brother sat across from me in that cold glass office on Brody Street and told me I didn't belong. His name's Callan Ridge. He's 3 years older than me, always was the sharper dresser, the one with the polished sentences and 5-year plans. Our dad used to call him the executive even when we were still in middle school. Me? I was the guy behind the stove, the guy who could turn a pork shoulder into poetry. That's what people said. Anyway, our family owned Ridge House, a restaurant in downtown Portland that we built from scratch, literally. We laid the tile ourselves, hung the lights with our own hands, and begged every food distributor in Oregon to give us a shot. For 7 years, I was in the kitchen 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I burned my hands, missed birthdays, forgot how it felt to sleep in, and I didn't care. Ridge House was ours, until it wasn't. It was a Wednesday morning when everything cracked. The kind of morning where the sky is too clear and you just know something's off. I walked into the office, still in my chef's coat, sleeves rolled up, hands smelling like rosemary and lemon zest. Callan was already there, wearing a blazer, sipping from one of those fake clay espresso cups he swore made the crema taste better. He didn't look up when I walked in, just said, "Close the door." And I knew. The speech was short, polished, like everything he said when he'd already made up his mind. "It's not personal, Ash, but I need someone with a broader business lens. Investors are asking questions, and frankly, you don't have the experience to scale this. Not at the level we're headed." I laughed. I think I even smiled, just for a second. "You mean our restaurant?" He hesitated. That was the only human moment in the entire conversation. "It's not about the past anymore. It's about the future." When I walked out of that office, I didn't take anything with me. Not my knives, not my apron, not even the framed photo of Dad and me installing the Ridge House sign on opening day. I left it all. Every goddamn memory. I got in my truck and drove until the buildings disappeared. Through Gresham, then Boring, and out toward the dry fields and silence. No music. Just the hum of tires and the slow, loud unraveling of trust. By nightfall, I deleted every contact with the last name Ridge. Blocked my brother. Erased our shared calendars. Turned off the noise. He said I didn't have the experience. I was about to prove just how wrong he was. After that day on Brody Street, I was nobody. Ash Ridge. Just a name left on a lease and some old receipts. No Ridge House, no family, no future mapped out. Just a deep, burning pit in my chest and the kind of silence that screams. I parked my truck on the edge of an old industrial part of Portland, a forgotten block where rusty warehouses cast long shadows, and the only thing open past sundown was a grimy gas station. I wasn't about to open another fancy restaurant or chase investors' approval. No, I needed to start from scratch, from the ground, from the dirt. The next morning, I found a rundown coffee cart for rent. The owner wanted double what I had, but I talked him down. Told him my story like a confession, not expecting much, but hoping for a chance. The place smelled like old beans and regret. Perfect. I spent the first week cleaning every surface till it shined, fixing the rusty espresso machine with borrowed YouTube tutorials, and planning my menu on the back of crumpled napkins. No fancy dishes. Just coffee, simple sandwiches, and something I called Ash's Remedy. A lemon honey ginger tea that was supposed to warm more than just the throat. The mornings were brutal. No customers at first, just empty chairs and the sound of my own breath. But I didn't quit. I remembered what Dad told me once. "You can lose a battle, son, but you never lose the fight." Week by week, a few people started coming in. The cashier from the corner store, a bike messenger with a crooked smile, an old woman who said my tea reminded her of her grandmother's kitchen. I learned their names, their orders, their stories. For the first time, I wasn't just Ash Ridge, the chef who got kicked out. I was Ash, the guy who made you feel at home. But it wasn't easy. I worked 18-hour days, slept on the couch behind the cart, and ate more instant noodles than I care to admit. Every night, I faced the ghost of that office on Brody Street. The look on Callan's face when he said I wasn't enough. That fueled me more than anger, fueled my pride. I wasn't just going to build a business. I was going to build a legacy, on my own terms. Months passed. The coffee cart, which I named Ash and Company, became more than just a corner stop. It was my sanctuary, my battlefield, and my victory all at once. People came back not just for the coffee, but because I remembered their names, because I listened. One rainy afternoon, a guy named Milo stopped by. He was a local food blogger with a reputation for brutally honest reviews. I was nervous he could make or break this place with a single post. We talked for an hour. I told him my story, no sugarcoating. When he left, I didn't expect much. The next morning, my phone blew up. Milo's review was viral. Ash and Company isn't just a coffee cart. It's a testament to grit and heart. This guy's got what it takes. For the first time, I saw a line at my little cart longer than the block. Orders piled up. I hired 2 part-timers. I started dreaming bigger. But every win came with a reminder. That evening, Callan called. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Ash, I hear you're making waves. Maybe we should talk. I listened to it twice, then deleted it. Why would I talk to the guy who pushed me out? Who thought I wasn't good enough? I had my own road now, and I was driving full throttle. I never liked being told what I couldn't do, but nothing had prepared me for the storm that was about to hit. By the time Ash and Company had 3 carts across Portland, each busier than the last, I thought I was untouchable. I'd built something real, without investors, without handouts, without my brother's name on my door. But success is a magnet for trouble. It started with a cease and desist letter. Ridge House, my family's restaurant, claiming trademark infringement because of the name. Even though I never used the Ridge name publicly, apparently calling it Ash and Company was too close. The letter was from Callan's lawyer. I stared at the paper for a long time, a cold, hollow feeling curling in my gut. They wanted me to shut down, to disappear. I didn't. Instead, I gathered my team in the back room of my main cart, the one on Alberta Street. The smell of freshly ground coffee filled the air, but it couldn't mask the tension. Callan's playing dirty, I told them. They want to scare us off, but we're not done. One of my part-timers, a sharp kid named Lena, looked at me with fierce eyes. What's the plan, Ash? I paused, thinking. It was time to stop reacting. Time to go on offense. I decided to open a proper brick-and-mortar cafe, on my own terms, no family name, no old ties. I found a tiny spot in St. John's, a neighborhood that was changing fast but still had that raw, authentic vibe. I poured every cent I had saved into renovations. I painted the walls myself, sourced furniture from flea markets, and designed a menu that was a love letter to the people who believed in me. Opening day was electric. The whole community showed up. People who remembered me from the cart days. New faces curious about the former Ridge chef who dared to break free. I gave a speech I'll never forget. This place isn't just about coffee. It's about resilience. About what you do when life knocks you down. I was told I didn't have the experience to run a business. I say, experience is what you make of every failure, every no, every closed door. The cafe took off. It was more than I dreamed. People lined up for hours. I hired more staff and even started hosting open mic nights and local art shows. Ash's name became synonymous with something fresh, something real. But the firestorms weren't over. One cold Tuesday morning, I got a call from the city. Some anonymous complaint about health violations at the new cafe. They said they'd be sending inspectors. I knew it was Callan's crew. It was too coincidental. The inspection came the next day. I was there when the health officer walked in, clipboard in hand. They found issues. Minor things like a cracked tile or a misaligned shelf. But the report was brutal. The cafe was temporarily closed. I stood outside the locked doors, watching the sign fade in the drizzle. For a moment, I felt the weight of it all, the rejection, the sabotage, the loneliness. But then I thought about every mile I'd driven, every coffee I'd brewed, every person who believed in me. I wasn't going to let a crooked game end this. I gathered the team again. We worked around the clock, fixed every single issue, cleaned like we'd never cleaned before. I called every local journalist I could find, told my story. The community rallied. Within 2 weeks, the cafe was back open, stronger than ever. That night, I sat alone after closing, hands wrapped around a hot cup of coffee. I thought about Callan, about that day on Brody Street. I realized something. He'd given me the greatest gift without meaning to, the freedom to build something truly mine. It's funny how the darkest moments become the turning points. How the pain that nearly breaks you ends up shaping you into something you never thought you could be. After the cafe reopened, I finally felt like I was out of the woods. The city had embraced Ash and company in a way I never expected. I wasn't just the kid kicked out by his brother anymore. I was Ash Ridge, a man who'd clawed his way back, brick by brick. But the final test came when Callan showed up at the cafe. Not as a businessman, not as a brother, but as a man who realized he might have underestimated me. It was a Friday afternoon. The place was buzzing with people, indie music humming softly in the background, the smell of roasted beans thick in the air. I was behind the counter, perfecting a pour-over, when I caught sight of him standing near the entrance. Callan. His eyes were different. No arrogance, no smugness, just a flicker of something like regret. He walked over, clearing his throat. "Ash, can we talk?" I looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. We moved to the back, away from the customers and noise. He started, "I was wrong. You did have the experience. You have something I never saw, fire. You built this from nothing. I'm proud of you." I wanted to say something sharp, remind him of all the doors he slammed shut, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I said, "It's too late for us. I'm not the kid you pushed out of the family business anymore. I'm building my own family here, with these people." He nodded, understanding. "I want to make things right, if you'll let me." I looked around the cafe, the staff laughing, the regulars chatting like this was their second home. And I realized I didn't need Callan's approval. I didn't need the Ridge name anymore. "We'll see," I said. "But right now, I've got a business to run." That night, I closed the doors, turned off the lights, and finally allowed myself to breathe. For years, I'd been running from my past, from my brother's shadow. Now I was stepping into my own light. No family business, no borrowed success, just me, my scars, my fight, and the freedom to create what I always wanted.